What's going on, everybody? How you living?
What's up, guys? Gia McCool. We got a really cool guest for you today, and I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yeah, but dating apps, they didn't just change the way that we do dating, right? No, but they have actually changed the way human behavior altogether now. So tonight we're not going to be talking about, if dating apps are bad. We're actually going to be talking about what has swipe culture broken and why social circles matter more than having game and being able to peacock. And why most people do a really bad job at choosing partners because they don't do any vetting.
Correct. So modern dating is broke, but it's not because men and women are trash. It's because technology rewards the worst behaviors and punishes and hides the best ones.
We have replaced community with convenience.
And we replace reputation with anonymity.
We have replaced vetting with vibes.
And dating apps basically promise unlimited options, which are illusions.
Exactly. And what actually delivered us is isolation, confusion, inflated egos, and a collapsed standard, and a generation of people who think attraction is the same as compatibility.
And men are told just be yourself, which we know does not attract women.
And women are told that they deserve the best while being shielded from consequences.
And then everybody acts surprised when marriages fail and loneliness skyrockets and the resentment begins the norm.
So tonight we're not doing platitudes.
And we're not doing comforts or lies.
And we're definitely not doing therapy speak, okay? That's gay.
We're talking about systems, accountability, and social proof.
Because love doesn't happen in a vacuum, it happens inside environments.
Yep. And if the environment is broken, the outcome will be also broken.
So our guest, Mr. Michael Sartain, former Captain Michael Sartain, he has spent years building and observing and stress testing real social ecosystems, not swipe algorithms.
Let's start.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Energy of truth on fire. They're calling out the world's desire. From fake ideals to moral decay, they're lighting up the modern age. No one's safe, not the church, not fame. They're flipping the script, rewriting the game.
Yo, what's up, Mike?
Welcome back.
What's going on?
So today we're joined by Michael Sartain. And if you have been following or dating online or male and female dynamics, I'm sure you've heard of him. Thank you so much, Michael, for being here. I'm excited to start.
Hey,
And
glad to be on here.
They have not have seen him in that area. You might have seen him at a bikini contest or a wet t-shirt contest.
Yeah, that too.
Or
I don't think you can do a t-shirt contest anymore. I think they're too politically incorrect.
Titties are politically incorrect now?
Yeah, I think in the 90s you could do them in certain places, but I like the funny thing about my bikini competitions, and people will think I'm absolutely nuts when I say this. I don't sexualize them at all, like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like the girls are in bikinis. Why do you sexualize them? Mine are actually very family friendly. I host Swimsuit USA, and then a lot of the contestants bring their family out there too, and they have to answer questions in gowns because there's no point. Like, what is the point of sexualizing somebody who's in a bikini? It's pointless.
It's already there, right? It's already like built in.
Yep.
So Mike, let's get like direct with it. Let's first like define the problem that we're seeing,
Sure.
right? From your perspective, what did like the swipe culture actually break, and what are most people like struggling with that they don't want to admit because of the swipe culture?
Yeah, so this is a great thing. People have this discussion all the time, and there's actual hard data on this. I would recommend everybody check out a book by Jonathan Haidt called The Anxious Generation, where he goes over the incredible, horrible effects that giving children before they go through puberty a smartphone. It's destroying them. They have unlimited access to pornography, and you have kids that are like 12, 13 years old that are on TikTok and receiving brain rot. Whereas in China, they don't let children look at this garbage that we look at here. Here in TikTok, that we see just nonsensical garbage and 19-year-old kids giving relationship and dating advice that's actually absolutely terrible, and just all kinds of things to just emasculate and demasculinize the American population. You see that on TikTok, and it's ruining these kids because now they're growing up comparing themselves to one another. So here's basically the two. I'm going to be a little bit reductive here and just kind of show the two sides here. And by the way, I'm very different in this space in that I don't blame anyone. This is not anyone's fault. This is just a function of negligence. I take a very similar stance to Richard Reeves. He has a book called The Boys and Men. This is kind of it's negligence. It's not nefarious. Like, I think when Title IX came out,
malicious is what you're saying. It's not like intentionally done Yeah.
I think when Title IX came out with 1972, the intention was not to cause male unemployment to rise. That was not the intention, to say 40 years later, men would be out of jobs and be suffering from mental illness and homelessness at a rate 5 times greater than women. That was not the intention of Title IX. I think it's just a function of negligence. So here's what's happened. Glenn, you're over 40. How old are you, Glenn?
I'm 41.
Okay, 41. Glenn, do you remember back in the day? Maybe you're not old enough for this. I bet you are. Kids used to go out on a bicycle and ride out into the woods where somebody hit a box of like
Pornhub,
Victoria's Secret.
Playboy.
Pornhub. It was like Victoria's Secret or like Fredericks of Hollywood, and girls were in like, and you would like ride your bike out there, and like you would see like a few images and be like, oh my God, that's a girl. Just imagine, had we grown up with limitless pornography, how that would have screwed up our ability to like actually see women for, to understand women in any capacity whatsoever, and to not see women in the context of how they are in pornography. So men, their belief about how women are is perverted through pornography, and to a certain extent through what's the word I'm looking for? Edited images on social media of how men and women look when they don't actually look that way. That's
like
the
the Photoshop era, like the filters and everything. It's the unrealistic presentation.
So there's these doctors who a lot of the rhinoplasty surgery you're seeing, like the top place to go for that now is Istanbul, Turkey. A lot of the doctors there, and same thing in Colombia, a lot of them are saying what is happening is women are coming to me with face-apped versions of their face, and they're saying, make me look like this. Make me look like this face-app version. Again, where does this come from? It's generally women under the age of 30 who got born after 1995, who were born and had a cell phone through puberty.
Yeah.
Puberty is when your brain is formulating. A lot of these axons and synapses in your brain are forming these neural pathways. These neural pathways have now taught you to compare yourself to everyone that you see, whereas your ancestors, like for me, it wasn't the hottest girl on Instagram when I was at 6th grade. It was the hottest girl in my elementary school.
Yeah.
Right? That was all I would ever see. It's like I had a crush on the cutest girl in my elementary school, not on the cutest girl on Instagram. So
it was localized.
Exactly. It was localized. And so like that's the way it worked. And so I could go up and communicate with her. Here's the massive difference. Okay. So for women, it's not pornography. For women, it's dating apps and social media. And to some extent, like the apps like Patreon, Sex Panther, OnlyFans, what it does is it gives them limitless levels of validation without going in real life to meet people. So even though women in general want validation from men that they admire, men that they're attracted to, they'll still take validation from 1 million followers that they don't see. If women get 1 million likes on a picture of them in a bikini, that feels good. Even though they don't know those men, it feels good.
So there's a sense of security there for them too, and safety, because
correct,
there's this barrier called the digital world. Yes. So they don't have to interact or risk interacting with people in real life.
And what do you think that this has done to their female expectations?
Oh, I'm going to get to that. That's a transition to my next point. So what's happened is because of the fact that they can get their validation virtually, and they're getting so much validation, and they're getting validation for pictures that are edited. When the guys see them in person, they're like, you don't look anything like your photos. Because they're getting this validation, two things that are happening. They're actually getting to believe that they're at a certain place with their physical attractiveness that they are not, number one. And number two, it's causing them to not go out anymore. So you'll notice nightclubs and bars just have fewer women in them since they did like 20 years ago, which has caused men to revert to dating apps and using social media to meet women. And some of these apps like, Seeking Arrangement or Sex Panther, or flying to Colombia or Panama or someplace like that to go Passport Bro, which is for the code word for
it's kind of killed everything, right?
Yes.
It's killed like Hooters, it's killed strip clubs, it's killed yes. all of the
it's funny you mentioned that. I wasn't going to bring that up, but yeah, strip clubs are been decimated because of OnlyFans. So now here's the big difference though, Gia. Here's the massive difference. The difference is, for me, if I'm a man who's addicted to pornography, I'm never going to meet those women. Those women are never going to have sex with me. I'm never going to interact with them. If you start to believe that you have a big crush on Michael B. Jordan, Chris Hemsworth, Tyga, fucking Nick Cannon, whoever, you find these men attractive, if you reach out to them, they will have sex with you. That's a massive difference between the two. And so my delusion has a ceiling to it. I could sit there and be like, oh my God, I think this porn star is so attractive. She's not going to.
Her delusion could be a reality.
Correct. So like
Right.
I know, like I happen to know personally, I know Madison Ivy, I know Phoenix Marie, I happen to know Nicolette Shea. I know a lot of these porn stars personally. And gentlemen, let me let you know something. They would not piss on you if you were on fire. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care that you exist. They don't know who you are. But if an attractive woman reaches out to a center fielder for the Dodgers and he's single or married, he's going to smash. He's going to take that opportunity because sex is being offered to him. So now what's happened is while there's a ceiling to my delusion about a porn, there's no ceiling to her delusion. There's no ceiling to her delusion about who she can get to have sex
and
with
her
her.
value and what her value is in sense, right?
Correct. So now what happens is because she can legitimately get men who have a, let's just say a status of a 10, we're just using that number to make it simple. There's a man who has a status of a 10. He makes $50 million a year. He's a center fielder for the Angels, whatever. Because she can get him to have sex with her. Now she believes that because she can do that, that then she can get that man to commit to her. And this is where the delusion happens. Because a woman can have sex with a 10, she thinks that she can get a 9 to commit. And often she can. When women estimate who they can have sex with, they're right about 98% of the time.
They equate that to who they could get to invest in them in the commitment.
Correct. So now here's the part where, waiting for the offensive part. Here's the offensive part. My sexual market value. I'm not telling you that my value as a human. Please understand. I'm not stating that my value to humanity. I'm talking about my sexual market value, my attractiveness to the opposite sex.
Yeah.
My sexual market value is defined by the number of attractive women willing to have sex with me, not even the ones that I have sex with. My sexual market value as a man is totally and completely described by the number of attractive women willing to have sex with me. As a woman, your sexual market value is solely defined by the highest status man who will commit to you. I know that's very offensive to a lot of people.
No,
what
it's
we've
not.
done is we've confused the two ideas. And so now what women think is my sexual market value is defined by the highest status man who will have sex with me. And it's like, no, there is no action on earth.
Nothing to do with sex.
There's no action on earth. Yes, there's no action on earth that requires less force than a woman getting sex. Nothing.
Yeah.
Women literally have to take action to stop them from getting sex. You understand, if a woman goes on a date with a man and all she does is just act neutral and say yes to everything he wants, they're going to end up having sex. She literally has to take active measures to stop sex from happening. It requires zero force investment or risk on her part to have sex. So what she's done now is she's confused this idea. She's taken this masculine ideal of men having attractive women wanting to have sex with them because that requires work. That requires me to go to the gym. That requires me to make an exceptional amount of money or become exceptionally successful in whatever field I am, or successful on social media or marketing, or becoming a better speaker or a better leader or throwing better events. I have to put in the work and take risks as a man to have women become attractive to me. For a woman, she needs to go through puberty. That's it.
Yeah.
And then she is attracted. Even
that's why you get the mantra of women just are, men have to become.
Yeah,
and we all know women don't do well going backwards. So, if they are sleeping with a man of that caliber and then he doesn't want to commit to them, they're never really going to be happy with the average guy.
Correct.
So really, where's the accountability from there?
Yeah. So the term for that is stuck on your highest setting, and I believe it was Orion Taraban who came up with that. Or Rollo would say alpha widowed. That's where that concept comes from. And a lot of the girls that I used to date, they'll tell me it's like, my boyfriend really has a hard time with the fact that I used to date you. Because he looks on your social media and he sees that.
Yeah, I've spoken to girls who have gone like on these planes and like had this kind of lifestyles, and then they can't date after that. And these guys would never marry them, but they get stuck on that. Yeah.
So what seems like what women are lost in is what they're confusing is that sex is not the value, because that's the goal for men. That makes them valuable. And so there's this egalitarian view that sex is that's what their value is. But the real value for women is, it's not what caliber, high status guy you get to sleep with you, it's which one would be willing to invest in you in a relationship, take the risk of investing in you, that everything that he has earned.
It's why I say that a woman can't place value on herself in the sexual marketplace. Only the man who's willing to commit can do that.
Correct.
I've said this in past things before.
And women do constantly try to relate their own sexual market value. They'll sit there in a room and they'll
I'm a 10.
Morbidly overweight, expressing that they're a 10. And I always say the same thing. I was like, I respect the fact that you think that you're a 10, but I think that I can play small forward for the Lakers. What happens when I go to crypto.com and just tell the coach, hey, you know what? I'm playing small forward today. They're like, no, LeBron's got that job. We don't need you to play small forward. Where are the police? Let's go ahead and get you arrested.
Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot. You have no play. So because I feel like I can play small forward, I feel like I have more value than I can, it doesn't equate to reality. And so when these women who are morbidly over obese sitting there talking about I'm a 10, here's the problem though. They still can get men who are a 10 to have sex with them. Justin Waller had a great quote. He goes, you can bring a girl who's a 4 in here right now, and if it's the right Tuesday, maybe I'll have sex with her. The problem is now she thinks she's on my level, and now she won't give any guy who's on her level a chance. Forget a guy who's on her level, an average guy. Women find 80% of men on these dating apps to be below average attractiveness. So we've gotten to this point where it's like there's this massive evolutionary mismatch. And what happens is there's a few group of men who understand how to control and manifest and display signs of status generally through social media. That's the easiest way to do it. That's the most scalable way to do that is through social media. And then there's a large group of men at the bottom who have no options with women, and those men are funding the women on OnlyFans and Sex Panther. And so that's the reason why this works. And by the way, girls like Lily Phillips or Bonnie Blue, girls who are just like openly hyper promiscuous, they will still might find men who want to marry them. It's just they're not attracted to those men. They're settling for 50 or 60% of what they wanted. There's this great survey. I was listening to Scott Galloway talk about this great survey. They survey men and they survey women, and they ask the men, if you could get 80% of what you wanted out of a partner, would you be happy? And 75% of men said, I would be happy with 80% from a partner. They asked women, if you could get 80% of what you wanted a partner, would you be happy? And 25% of women said that they would be happy with an 80% partner. And this is
which is why they kick the can down the road. And then usually by around like in their 40s is when they're like, okay, I'll take the guy that's promising me the baby in the house.
I literally have a friend right now. She's 39. She's stunningly beautiful. Like she's so pretty. She doesn't look 39 at all. And the guy that's had a crush on her since they were sophomores or juniors in high school, she finally gave him a chance to take her on a date.
How it goes.
Finally. It was so crazy. And I'm like, I'm very happy for her because she was like, yeah, I was super annoyed by him because he's kind of weird. And then she's like, the sex was great. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, he waited 22 years for me. So, whatever.
So Mike, so since we know that there's this like delusion here and there's like this, could we say that men, maybe in a way contribute to the delusion that women have?
Of course. There's nothing that contributes more. It's that bottom third of men that contribute to the delusion. You guys understand, as much as there are people in red pill manosphere spaces who hate Lily Phillips and they hate Bonnie Blue, some men will get on and marry her. Some man will get on a knee and marry her, and they will make it a live stream on Aiden Ross's channel on Kick or Twitch or some shit like that, and it will get billions of views, and everyone will call this man a cuck, and he probably is. And the dude, guess what? He'll be rich and he'll be good looking. He'll be a complete beta male, but he'll be completely rich and good looking, and she will continue to film with other men and be dissatisfied with her relationship with this guy that she settled with. In my relationships, this is where I know I'm going to keep it working. It's not when I have to ask my girlfriend for sex. It's when my girlfriend is furious with me because we haven't had sex in 24 hours.
You haven't given it to her.
Correct. That's the only way. The only way a relationship with a woman can go forward is the way I just described. If that is not what you're getting in your relationship, do not move forward to marriage. Marriage does not then make her want to have more sex with you. It's quite the opposite. So that's the thing you have to understand. If you're not getting genuine desire, then there is no way for this to work. So, but again,
if you're the one that's initiating, then it's not going to work out. If you need
you're
her
initiating the relationship, most men are going to initiate sex. But in once a man and a woman are in a sexual relationship, it's a woman who needs to initiate the relationship. It can't be the other way around because, like I'm telling you right now, got an average looking woman who uses Face App gets more attention on social media than an NFL quarterback. It's crazy because men are so outrageously desperate. It doesn't matter how many videos like this we make. Just go look at any girl who's a huge content creator who posts a picture in a bikini and just look at the hundreds and thousands of men leaving heart eye emojis. Like it's insane. And some of them I'll talk to them. I'll be like, hey, I never like picture. Like if Gia hosts a podcast, I'm going to like the photo. If Gia posts a picture in a bikini, I appreciate it, but I'm not going to like the photo. I don't like non-contextualized, sexualized images on social media.
Yeah, I've heard you say this before. I've heard you say it. So then what do you think, like being said, what do you think is the biggest lie that men tell themselves about online dating?
The biggest lie is that the idea that social media or that dating apps do anything. Dating apps are a complete and total negative. There are 9 men for every woman on Tinder. Let me say that again.
That's crazy.
There are 9 men for every woman. 23% of men on dating apps claim to have been scammed by the woman they met up with or got their number.
Catfish.
69% of men on these dating apps claim to have been friend zoned by somebody that they met on a date. Imagine you're paying money for a dating app to match with a girl, and 2/3 of them are friend zoning you. Imagine how incredibly humiliating that is. Just the numbers are outrageous. For a man needs to do 600 left swipes for every one swipe they get, or I believe it's like 1,200 swipes for every 5 matches. Some
And
crazy number like that.
I've never liked the matchmakers either. Like, I think that's bullshit. Like the matchmaker
yeah.
systems, I think that's another scam as well.
So I'm actually friends with Patty Stanger. And I will tell you the main issue with the matchmaker thing is it works for men who've given up. Meaning I have a lot of money and I just want someone young and attractive to sit there and be quiet. And you have a bunch of women that are like, I don't really like men in general. I'm looking for a man to take care of me financially. It is basically what it is. It's a range sugar baby. And there is no exception to this. There's no matchmaker. Every time there's a matchmaker that I've talked to, the how much money the man makes is like 60 or 70% of the entire equation. And it is the woman's age and the man's income. And it is madness to me. And that's why I really, again, for the average man not looking for a woman to like him because of his money, matchmakers are not effective. I'm not saying they're never effective, because I know a lot of guys are like, dude, I'm super busy. Just give me a trophy wife, and I want to live in Orange County. I want to go to Mastro's and show off my wife's fake tits. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Those guys, get a matchmaker. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, because they're looking at it as a status symbol, right? Like they're looking at her as an accessory and a status symbol.
Yes. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with if guys want to go to Colombia and bang a bunch of hookers, do that as well. But just don't teach me a fucking dating course afterwards. That's what I'm sick of. I'm sick of guys who are sitting like women trying to match up rich men with young women, or dudes going to Colombia or fucking Kiev and hooking up with a bunch of prostitutes and then coming back here and starting a dating course. That drives me crazy. My job is to take men who are below average attractiveness and get them to date women out of their league. I do so through Social Circle, and I use a lot of social media, Social Circle, social proof pre-selection, and make choice copying in order to do that. I have 4,000 clients. I have thousands of testimonials.
So tell me, like, give me an idea. Like, if a guy comes to you and he's having, a hell time with dating apps, and he's like, I'm about to give up on women altogether. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, you delete the dating apps. In fact, that's kind of one of the modules in my course. We delete all dating apps. The greatest dating app in the world is called Instagram. The reason why is because on Instagram, I can show status. If I'm on a dating app and I right swipe on you, Gia, I have intent for you. So my value is actually lower. Most really attractive women I talk to, whenever they end up going out with a guy, in their mind, they chose the guy. Now, it's not always true, but they feel like they chose the guy.
Yeah.
If you're right swiping on the girl, then that means that you're choosing her. And if you're really attractive, that will work. If it's a picture of you're a male model with a 6-pack, and the second picture of you in your Bentley, you can right swipe on as many women as you want. You're going to do fucking great. Go ahead, baby boy. Just be on dating apps all you want.
Yep.
For the rest of us, who are the average guy in the United States is 5'9", he's overweight, and he makes $59,000 a year. For the rest of you guys, that's not going to work. Get off the dating apps. Step number one in the Men of Action program: fix your fucking Instagram. Here's the problem. You and I, if you had a nail salon, Gia, and you were like, hey, listen, I have a nail salon, but you know what? I don't want to advertise on social media because I feel that's disingenuous. All your friends
guys don't want to do the work to fix that.
Exactly.
I've talked to them. I've told them a million times to do
So,
that.
yeah.
They're like, no, I don't want to do these professional photos. I don't want to dress better.
Exactly. Let me finish the analogy here. But if I told you that, if I said, hey, you don't want to, if you told me, hey, it doesn't feel genuine to advertise my nail salon on social media, we would all look at you like, are you insane? Of course.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it now.
It's infinitely scalable, and I can show the quality of your work. My clients, almost exclusively, I have hyper intelligent clients who are successful financially, but they have terrible, terrible marketing. That's the main thing. Their marketing is terrible.
Most people don't know how to sell.
Correct. They think that the world is a meritocracy. They think because I have a better home and a larger amount of money in my 401k and I have a lower body fat percentage, therefore I deserve a wife. That's how they think.
That's exactly what I wanted to get to right there, because I get into these debates with these guys, like the MGTOW guys or the guys that are really black pill, and they feel entitled, right? They have this entitlement to, I deserve. There's no reason for you, Glenn, to be able to smash all these chicks that you've smashed when you don't make enough money as me. You don't have the house that I have. You don't have what I could provide them, but they're giving you attention, and that's wrong. They should be giving it to me, right?
Yes.
And it's like, well, they're not realizing they're doing it all wrong. They're leading wrong.
Correct. I show zero intent. You guys can go through. There's thousands of girls that are tagged on my social media. Ask any of them. Has Michael ever hit on you? No. Have you ever gone out with him? A good percentage of them are going to say yes. And it's generally because they ask me out. Why is that? Because I create this huge social environment where I am the leader. There are more women than men. Women feel very comfortable. This is what I teach my clients as well, is to create where I am the hub of my social circle. Not only does it have to do with dating, my friends all find their jobs through me. My friends all meet their girlfriends through me. There's several dating coaches that you guys know right now that are pickup artists that met their girlfriends because they were at one of my events. Okay.
You know, I could attest to that because remember your birthday at Hakkasan? We went to your birthday at Hakkasan, and we had that section. You had the two sections. There was women, a sea of women over there. Like they were just, there was like a few of us guys, but there was just a whole section of women. Like it was more women than men.
That's exactly
so
right.
delete your dating app, curate your Instagram, get that together, right?
Yes,
now, what do you do for guys that are like, I don't want to do professional photos, I don't want to do the work? How do you?
I don't need you to do professional photos. I can show you how to do several different types of photos. I would recommend candid photos over professional photos. In fact, I was going to pull this up for you guys real quick. If you guys can screen share, let's do screen share my Instagram. Let's do Chrome tab. Can you see my IG?
It's coming up right there. Yep.
Okay, cool. So let's just go to this. This is again a client who he's now a coach because he's done so well. So I want to use examples of not me. So I'm going to use I'm going to use a 5'8". I'm going to use a 5'8" Indian guy. Okay, 5'8" Indian guy. He's learned how to show places that he can get into cool places. So there's a couple of type of photos. This is a candid photo that you have. Okay, this would be a pre-selection photo. And this would be a lifestyle photo. There's 3 different type of photos that we pick. And a lot of people can't stand this. They're like, Michael, these type of photos make you look like a player and it really hurts you with women. If you knew the women that were reaching out to him,
your comments, it's funny.
If you knew the type of women that were reaching out to him, you would know this is complete and total horseshit. And who are the guys
from Harvard yet? Because he was in Harvard.
He graduated from Harvard last May. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I went to the graduation. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got a doctorate, like right in front of me. It was pretty cool. But the thing is, if you see that, what happens is whenever you see people complaining and they're like, Michael, this wouldn't work, what you're dealing with is women who've dated players and don't like them, or you're dealing with male models. For some reason, men who are extremely good looking hate this idea of using pre-selection. And the reason why is, and this is what's happened to me several times, pretty much my last 5 girlfriends, before we slept together the first time, they would always make a comment, something like, I don't like the fact that on your social media, you have all these pictures with women. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then they would sleep with me right afterwards because I listened. I paid attention to what they did and not what they told me. So what's happening is a lot of these male model dating coaches, they're going on there and they have clients, or maybe they took a picture with some girls and the girl was like, no, don't post that. It looks bad. And they're like, oh, a woman told me that looks bad. Let me make content warning all the other guys to not do the same thing. Meanwhile, with me, rule number 1 in Men of Action is we don't listen to the words. We only pay attention to people's actions. I only pay attention to who women are sleeping with, not who they say they're attracted to. Let me say that a second time. My program is built on this. I only pay attention to who women actually sleep with, not who they say they're attracted to. They are attracted to men who
in other words, don't listen to their preferences. Like watch who they're actually with.
Yes, I'll only pay attention. And by the way, do this with men too. I have business partners who fucking make up shit all the time, and we had a horrible fallout. But only pay attention to people's actions. This is just in general. What Bernie Mac
used to say, it's what they do. The media is the message, right?
Correct. But Bernie Mac used to say, I don't believe in shit till shit happens. I don't care that you tell me you're going to pay me on Tuesday. You either did or did not pay me on Tuesday. And so this is the problem with a lot of the people, is that they listen to these self-reported images, where self-reported studies where women say the most attractive quality a man can have is that he reads. Shut the fuck up. He reads. I read 60 books a year. No one cares that I read. It's so crazy. But here's a funny thing. When I got in really good shape and got a little bit of clout on social media, all of a sudden more women wanted to go out with me, and they didn't give a fuck that I was reading. It's crazy.
It's funny that the things that they don't like or they say they don't like is exactly what they gravitate to. Isn't that funny?
And here's the reason why. I'm gonna break this down. This is really important. Check this out part right here. If I'm a man, if Glenn comes to me and he goes, Glenn, and Glenn's like, hey, Michael, I really only like blondes with green eyes. If we were to look at his Google search history, you know what we're gonna find? Blonde hair women with green eyes. If he says he's attracted to blonde-headed women with green eyes, I can almost guarantee you we're going to find that's what he's attracted to. I've always said the same thing. I like the volleyball player with a boob job. That is my perfect type. The girl who work cocktail servers at Wet Republic, like girls who look like that. If you were to look at my search history, look at my dating history, and look at the girls that I communicate with on social media, you're going to find that what I say I'm attracted to is exactly what I'm actually attracted to. The two circles coincide. A woman will say that she likes a man who's kind, buys her flowers, is exceptionally vulnerable, reads a bunch of books, is good with animals and good with her family. And then when we look at who she actually dates, it's Brock the bartender who sells steroids and has 2 full tattoo sleeves, who has a couple of felonies. These two things are different.
Hey, we're good guys, though. I swear.
Here's the two reasons why they're different. When women are asking, when you ask women, what are you attracted to? What they're describing
long term.
No. You close. What they're describing is attributes in men they're already attracted to. This is the part that women leave out. When a woman says, I want vulnerability, they want a man they're attracted to be vulnerable.
Already.
When the woman says, I want
flowers, yeah.
When the
they
woman
have to
says,
already
when the woman wants flowers, yes.
have
If I've given my girlfriend 16 orgasms and the next day I buy her flowers, she's going to love the shit out of those flowers because a man she worships and adores gave her flowers. But if
she's not mentioning the arousal thing,
correct, because she's not aware of it. It's like trying to explain to a fish what water is. You can't explain to a woman that she could be attracted to a man she's not attracted to. And so the idea, the requisition for attraction. Here's my favorite one. Let's imagine real quick. There's 20 women on this StreamYard live stream with us right now. And we asked them all. We asked all the 20 women. It was like, ladies, is it attractive if a man is loyal? What percentage of these women are going to say yes? Is it attractive?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them will say a man is loyal. Ready? Here's the next question.
Say yes.
Here's the next question. Hey, ladies, have you ever met a woman, or you yourself been a woman who's dated a man who wasn't loyal? How many of them are going to raise their hand?
All of them.
All of them. How does that make any sense? Because your morality as a man is surplus to requirements. Women do not sleep with you or date you because of your morality. They sleep with you and date you because of evolutionary attraction triggers like
they like a man that other women want.
Right. They want a man. The term for that is mate choice copying in humans. And there's a parental investment hypothesis by Robert Trivers in the 1970s, which shows that women are more picky than men. So because of the pickiness, this is another thing that's really blows people's mind. You want to get really offensive. Here's the super offensive part. Ready? When they do studies on men who use mate choice copying, meaning they have photos and videos of them with a bunch of other women, or women know that they're dating other women, those men that effect has more of an effect on younger women with lower body counts than it does on older women who are more promiscuous. You might say, why is that? Why would that happen? Imagine Gia or Glenn, imagine all of a sudden you guys started selling solar, or you became accountants, or you did some new job that you'd never done before. The first thing you would do is find the top 5 people in your field and you would follow what they were doing. Let's say you got into high ticket sales. Let's just say all of a sudden you guys became remote closers. The first thing you do is you would watch Jeremy Minor, you'd watch Alex Hormozy, you might watch Brad Lee. You would watch these high ticket Cole Gordon. You'd watch these high ticket closer, Dan Pena. You'd watch the top 5 guys and you would look to them for cues because you don't know what you're doing. So imagine you're a 21-year-old girl who's never been with a guy. And then all of a sudden you see a guy like me who all of a sudden your 5 favorite IG models are standing on a red carpet with me and kissing me on the cheek. The attraction bonus I get is actually increased with younger women. What? What? But of course, if you think about this logically, that makes sense. So here's the thing. Not only does the player vibe, the player motif help you, it actually helps you with more innocent women. Oh my God. Who's teaching this? No one.
No one is.
The data is conclusive. You want to know how I found out about this? There are 2 researchers at Ivy League universities that work for Men of Action, and they bring me studies from evolutionary psychology, sociology, and evolutionary biology. And this was one of the studies. And I was just like blown away by this. And yet at the same time, you guys know my ex-girlfriend was 24 years younger than me. And I didn't know she was 24 years younger than me. I thought she was like maybe in her mid to late 20s because she had so many muscles. She was very muscular. She's very strong, athletic. She looked like a volleyball player, like I said. And she had a really big boob job. So I thought she was like 26, 27. She was 20 years old. And I didn't realize that. And she had a double mastectomy, which is why she had the boob job. And And so when I was dealing with this whole situation, everyone was like so confused. Oh, you must be manipulating them. No, pretty much
No.
every girl who wants to date me is under 25. It's crazy. Why is that? It's because when they look and they see that all of their favorite models, I'm at the party they want to go to, I'm at the fucking the girl that they follow all follows me, or they've been on my show or whatever. When that works, what happens? I'm nothing special. I'm a very average dude. Why is this working for me? It's working for me because they're seeing irrefutable signs of pre-selection and social proof, which is generating attraction. Sorry, Black Pill. Sorry, Black Pill. Turns out none of what you're saying is true. Sorry, Black Pill. Turns out that all of my 5'6" Indian clients are hooking up with hot chicks because they listen to what I said. Because
I
status.
hear that a lot. People will say that about, because they see a picture with me and my husband. They'll be like, "Oh, you got to be
Yep.
tall to get a girl," you know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, so what is Danny DeVito? What's like? Tell me his excuse, because he's 4'11". Like, you know,
Even someone like well, you know, Thor. You remember Thor? His youngest brother, Miko Hughes, was the kid from from Friday the 13th, right? And he played the little boy in Kindergarten Cop. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. He hasn't grown much since that movie. I kid you not. He's like barely above 5 foot. He has no problem with women.
So again, if I'm a woman and I don't have any understanding of like social dynamics, and then I see
they
Michael
compare.
Sartain
Okay.
and his three closest female friends are huge models with 3 million followers each, who are former playmates, I'm gonna be like, what does does this guy have a fucking 12-inch penis? Like, why are all these women following him around? And I've had this,
the mystery and the curiosity there.
curiosity is one molecule away from attraction. So here's the thing. I have a friend of mine. You got one of my best friends is Kindly Myers. Gee, I'm sure you know Kindly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just fame. Okay, so she's one of my best friends. I just bought a Cybertruck because of her. She convinced me to do it. Kindly and I talk every day. She's one of my closest friends. Kindly is 40 years old. She's married. I have no designs on her. We've never kissed, nothing. She'll tell you she loves me like a brother. She calls me her brother. Okay. Kindly has probably got me to get on more dates with beautiful women than any guy I've ever met in my life. There's no game that I have.
I always say I'm a great wingman.
I'm
Everywhere
sure
I
you'd be
go,
incredible.
I help my husband's friends.
I'm telling you.
All the time. Yeah.
So when I go out with Kindly, one of these crazy things happens is that women, because I'm approaching them with Kindly, and because a lot of these women look up to her,
Yeah. They
especially
let down
women
their
who want to
guard.
be, yeah, because they let down their guard, because they're like, wait, this girl's a former E3 in the U.S. Army, and now she owns a farm and several horses and cars, and she's got her own line of clothing.
I've
her
sat
own
down at bars with women and just like bought them a drink. We talk and then like my husband's friends come over and they're like, "How did you do this?" Like, yeah, they let down their guard.
That's exactly right. And so because of my relationship with Kindly, what happens is now all of a sudden these girls who admire her, and several girls admire her, as soon as they see that she's one of my best friends, they're like, every question they have about, well, Michael's not a rapist, Michael's not an abuser, Michael's not an alcoholic, Michael's not going to steal her money. This girl chooses to spend all her time with this dude, and they have a platonic relationship. There must be something going on. So anyway, one of Kindly's best friends, she's a friend of mine. She's very attractive, but we just never really seen. I'm not super attracted to her. She's not attracted to me. She's, in her mind, I'm like a 4. I know this for a fact. And this is one of Kindly's best friends. This girl, she's a really big model. And so for years, she's been she came up to Kindly the other day because I left Babes in Toyland with this stunning brunette with like the bluest eyes you've ever seen. So I'm walking out and I walk past Kindly's friend, and then Kindly's friend goes to Kindly and says, "Hey, does Michael have like a huge penis or something? Like, why do I always see him with these incredibly beautiful women?" Her brain can't. Now she's older. She's a little bit older, but like her brain can't figure it out because she sees me as physically unattractive, but she keeps seeing me with beautiful women. And I'm not saying she's becoming attracted to me, but if had that happened with a different girl, that could spark attraction. That's why I keep trying to explain to guys. Female friends bring you pre-selection, they calibrate you, they get you into better places, and women introduce you to more women. The reason why my program has grown so incredibly fast is because tradcons don't think men and women can be friends.
Yep.
Red pill people don't think men and women can be friends.
Yep.
Makeup artists don't think men and women can be friends. But the truth is, my clients, because they have a ton of female friends, they mop up. I hope everyone follows clavicular. You know that guy on there, the black filler who's like, I hope every guy follows clavicular, because the more guys that work on looks and don't work on game, my clients are just going to steal their girlfriends. I don't give a shit. I have a summit that I do every year here in Las Vegas. And during the summit, and this was completely not written down, I just did this on accident. I looked at the crowd and I knew what all these guys did for a living. And there was tons of accountants and lawyers in the audience, hundreds of guys out there. And I asked them, I said, hey, how many of you guys have heard red pill content and you thought some of it was a little too extreme? You agreed with it, but you thought the way it was delivered was too extreme. Gia, 100% of the guys in the room raised their hand.
Yep.
And then I asked them the second question. I said, how many of you in this room started following me because you thought I was a less extreme version of that same content? 100% of the guys rose their hand. And I just took a guess. I represent the moderate part. Part of the moderate part is I love women. There's no one in this space who loves women more than me.
Yeah.
I can.
And I would.
Well, I mean,
I would
you're
say, like,
surrounded by
that's where
women,
Thor.
so it makes women feel a little bit like more, or at least for me, like I'm like, you know, it's more
Yeah, but
And
but
that,
Gia,
we understand there's nuance. You know, the understand that you represent the side that understands nuance and
yeah,
not focusing on the negative aspect and capitalizing on how you could improve your overall
Correct.
outcome rather than the risk. You're not focused on the risk. You're focused on mitigating the risk by improving yourself.
The reason why, like, I would also say Adam Sosnick represents sort of the moderate
Yep.
part of the manosphere. And Adam will tell you the same thing. And same, I would also say Justin Waller is there too. The reason why is because our experiences with women are almost entirely positive. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I love women. I don't have negative experiences with them. Why is that? Because I never hit on women. I don't show them intent unless they earn it. I create massive social circles where women show me interest and show me compliance. And of the women who show me compliance, I choose which one I date. And in doing so, she's very like she's happier and I'm happier. I had an incredible
She
woman
has
who
the burden of proof. She has the
Correct.
burden of proof, not you
Correct.
having the
And it's not because she's beneath me. It's because in contrast to every other man that she's dealt with in her life, every other man's like, look at her boobs. You're so hot. Heart eye emoji. And then here I am like, what up, bro? Hey, listen, we got an animal rescue in 2 weeks. Come with us. Oh, you don't give a fuck about the animals? I'm just fucking with you. Are you coming to the event? All right, cool. Do you have an IG? Let me see your IG. Cool. But make sure you come to the event. 2 weeks. Bring a toy. We're gonna do this. And then Kindly Myers will come up and grab me by the arm and pull me off. The girl's like, who the fuck is that guy? I don't understand. Every dude here is staring at my boobs except him. And he just invited me to an event and then walked off with another girl. I have to know who that guy is. What is going on here? 100 times, 1,000 times this has happened. And no matter
it's crazy because like Gia, we could actually go back to a previous episode when we had Nicole or Amber Nicole on, right? Remember, she said this was her relationship with Tito was the first relationship where she had put so much work in to secure that relationship, you know, and she did all the work that you remember to get Tito to secure that, relationship. And that's exactly what Mike is explaining here is that the guy is not pursuing her. She is pursuing him, trying to lock that down, not the other way around.
I've gone on dates. Amber doesn't know this. I've gone on dates with girls because Amber and Nicole introduced me to them. I went with Tito Ortiz and Amber Nicole to a Maxim party. I went with the Maxim party back before COVID. We went to one, and just being friends with Amber, I met women. It's just such a cheat code. And the greatest thing about this cheat code is that, like, I was always worried, my secret's going to get out and everyone's going to steal it. No one teaches this but me. No one teaches this but me.
Okay, so just to kind of streamline, right? So first thing you tell them is delete the dating apps. Next, you tell them curate their Instagram. Next, you get them involved in your social circle. Right.
So the third thing you need to do is build a list. You can either do it yourself or use a virtual assistant. We actually train virtual assistants for the guys who come into Men of Action. This is the way it works. You find your dream girl. It's that girl that, she works at your gym who wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire, or the super hot cocktail server, or the girl that you meet at work or whatever. And you start with her. And then you look at all the people that she follows, and you find all the attractive women she follows. And then you find like the 5 like snootiest, most uppity places in your city. And then on Instagram, you go to the part where they have people tagged, and you find all the attractive women in your city that are there, and you build a list. And it doesn't matter if you want to date these women or what. You just want moderately attractive women, and you're trying to put 2,000 women on a Google spreadsheet. And you and your friend, you're doing the same thing, and you share your spreadsheets, you combine them together, you get rid of the duplicates, and all the guys in the city, you guys all share this spreadsheet till it's massive 14,000 women that are in your city that are on the spreadsheet. Then what you do is you have the virtual assistant go through when you have an awesome event and go through and invite the girls. Now you have to go really slow because you don't have open threads with them. But after the first time you do it, you're going to have like a 20% open rate. Second time you do it, 40%. Third time, 60%. It's going to take a while, but eventually you're going to have open threads with 4,000 women. Where a club promoter can't do this, he can't message 4,000 women because he doesn't have open threads. You have open threads. Why? Because you had an event to invite her to. You met her in person. You sent her a message. You sent yourself a message on her phone, which gives you an open thread. So the next step is build a list, and then after you build a list, get as many open threads with women on Instagram as possible. That's the next thing you do to build a social circle. We use social media to be social, not social media to doom scroll. And the fourth step is get 6 female teammates. I mean, if you can do 2, that's fine. Get 6 female teammates and start going to events with 6 women at once.
That makes
with
sense.
them. That's the 4th step to do that. That's what I would explain. That's what all the guys in my program have to do first while they're taking the course. The course is several hundred hours long. There's a lot of other stuff. We teach leadership. We teach entrepreneurship. We teach how to build a brand. We teach how to host a podcast. There's all that stuff in the program.
You know what's funny? It's funny about that. I just got called by the other day by one of your guys. They're like, "Hey, Glenn," and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, so Mike wants to know. I was like, "Mike wants to know. Mike has my number, right?" And they're like,
so essentially, what you're doing is you are the way forward on using technology to your advantage. You're teaching them how to use tech, because really that's what it comes down. I think people don't really use technology properly today. But what about the guys? Because I've seen this, and I'm going to push back a little bit. What about the guys that are like, "Oh, Michael, all you do is meet models or girls in an industry that I don't want to date any of these hoes. Like they're all like sleeping around. I don't want to deal with women on OnlyFans." Like, how do you rebuttal that?
So there's a great video. I'd recommend everyone who's watching this, go to my limiting beliefs playlist. And there's a video called "Does Social Circle Only Get You Sluts?" That's literally the name of the video. And the answer is, it goes back to what I told you before. The men who showed the highest level of mate choice copying got the most attraction from women who were sexually restrictive and the women who were younger. Done. Argument debunked. The reason that men see this is, so the problem is this: when men see me in a picture with an attractive woman, because that woman would never date him, his mind automatically goes to 304 whore. Well, that must be a whore. Right. That's the only thing it could be. She's in a photo. She must be a whore. Like, that's the only way it goes. Why? Because he could never date her. So he has to, his ego has to create a force
narrative, because it's like, if they can't have you, then they got to destroy you.
Yes. His ego has to create a force field to protect him from that rejection. So he, instead of getting a rejection from a woman who would never talk to him in the first place, he has to call her names. A lot of the girls I take photos with have master's degrees, are married, their mothers.
They do that to a lot to pretty girls. They're like, automatically, you got to be a hoe. It's like, what?
It's so great. So Dr. Buss, he came up with a great, if you want to look at my interview with Dr. David Buss, it's episode number 34, I think, on my podcast. If you, when I interview him, I ask him about this specifically. So they do a study where they take some people that are in college. They ask a bunch of college students. They have a photo of a man and a woman facing each other at like a 90-degree angle, and they're studying together. And they both have neutral expressions. And they ask the men, how many of you men think that this woman is sexually interested in the man? And it was over 50, 60%. They asked the women, how many of you think that this woman is sexually interested in the man? And it was like 18%. Then they gave the woman cleavage, put makeup on her, red lipstick, and then did her hair. Then they asked the men, how many of you think that she's sexually attracted to him? And it was like 90%. Then they asked women, how many of you think that she's sexually attracted to him? And it was the same 18%. Males have what's called, and you should look this up. You really should write this down, Gia. It's called male overperception bias. They have an overperception, meaning they perceive everything you do as an invitation for sex.
Why is there this divide that they think if you're online as a girl, that means
you're advertising yourself,
you're available to them, when it's not? It's a completely different thing.
Yeah, so there's 2 issues here. One is I said before, the male over perception bias. It's like men are going to mistake everything you do as an invitation for sex, which is like, you understand, if men did not mistake everything women did as an invitation for sex, there would be no OnlyFans. There would be no strip clubs. There would be no Hooters. There would be no Twin Peaks. It's because men misinterpret female attention for female compliance. And so because of that, they throw their money at these women who give them any kind of attention. That's the reason. It's the male over perception bias that causes
so
this.
It's connected. I got you. Okay.
Correct. There's a second issue here, though. And Gia, this is not you, because you've been very open about being married. There are women out there who are open about being single while in a relationship. And I get, like,
Yes.
to some extent, I get it. If the dude's like, hey, she's a model making 50 grand a month, and she doesn't even check her IG. She has a team that does it, and she's obsessed with her husband. I know a girl like this. She lives in North Dakota, obsessed with her boyfriend. She literally doesn't even check her social media. She takes a bunch of photos. Photos go up on the website. She doesn't even check. She doesn't check her messages. She doesn't give a fuck about her social media at all. She's obsessed with the guy that she's dating, and that's it. For her, it would actually not make sense for her to promote her relationship online.
We also have a mutual friend.
They've told me for years, don't talk about your husband. I've been to get-togethers or events, and they're like,
Yeah.
he can come, but make sure that you like appear available. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no.
They believe that they feel that everything you do is an invitation for sex. But here's the crazy part. The more attractive you are, the more they mistake everything you do as an invitation
Mhm.
for sex. Meaning you can be sitting there with a resting bitch face, but have the perfect body type that they like, and your existence to them is an invitation for sex. That's what happens. That's what male overperception bias has. And so that's why you're getting this whole thing, is like they're perceiving that you have certain attributes that you don't have because they find you more attractive. Does that make sense? So in their mind, they're like, well, she's more attractive and I see her online, therefore she must be more willing to have sex with more men. And then when they find out you've been married for a long time, they can't square the circle, so they call you a liar or whatever names.
Well, yeah, and then they go and they create these pages dedicated to trolling me, and then they'll grab every bikini picture I've ever done and be like going into all the followers, my audience, going, "Don't follow her. She's a this, she's a that," and I'm like, "What?" So strange.
It's a little different with me because I'm a public figure, and my ex, she advertised her relationship with me online, and in doing so, they just started making horrible videos about her. So for me, I do not advertise my relationships. A normal guy,
Yeah.
it's actually healthy for you to show that you're dating someone. It actually makes you look higher status. It actually makes more women attracted to you, good thing or bad thing. Like, Gia, you know, your husband, there's women who find him more attractive because he's married to you. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, of course.
So for men, posting pictures in their relationships is good. For me, it's bad because whoever I'm in a relationship with immediately becomes the center of scandal, scrutinized. So I don't do that anymore. I'm not telling you guys if I'm in a relationship. If you're one of my friends and you come out with me, you're going to see who I'm dating. But otherwise, I don't tell people anymore. I learned that from watching Joe Rogan. I learned that from watching Chris Williamson. You have no idea who Chris Williamson's dating. So that's something.
Like,
and then
something that you value, you don't like flaunt it. Like the most richest people, they don't flaunt their wealth.
I'm with you, but if you're a normal dude, I do think you should show your relationship. I'm saying if you're me, you shouldn't. If you're Brian Atlas or you're Myron Gaines, you should not show your fucking relationship because the guys are just going to come after you.
Over a decade ago, they did something really bad to me and my husband. They like tried to create scandal in tabloids and stole some stuff of mine and create a whole narrative behind it. So I get it. It's being online and being available, like access online. It's not good for anybody.
And then where it gets more confusing is the OnlyFans creator who is married and has children, doesn't even go on social media, has a team who posts for her, and she has sex with her husband on camera and makes $70,000 a month. Like, where does she fit? Like, she literally goes to church. She loves her kids. She stays at it, but she has sex with her husband online, and then she fucking posts it online, and she doesn't have sex with anyone else. Like, where do you put her? You can say you're a trad cop, you're a hoe, and God doesn't love you. I'm like, well, her husband loves her. Like, I don't understand.
It is crazy.
Not a hoe, because her body count has increased. Yeah, because her body count hasn't increased. She's not being promiscuous, sleeping with a bunch of people. So
I'm not saying I encourage it. I'm just saying here's an example of a woman who's showing sexual intercourse online and legitimately is not promiscuous. So like, where do you fit that? So I don't know how to do that. And then here's the other thing is I meet women who do OnlyFans. In general, when they're on OnlyFans, they choose who they work with, the males that they work with. They're generally a guy that they're dating. I meet women who are not on OnlyFans. They work as, cocktail servers or receptionists. And these girls have been through 50 guys a year. They go through 50 guys a year. And every one of them, they're like, I want this guy to be my boyfriend. And he doesn't want to be her boyfriend. Why? Because it goes back to the original thing we're talking about. Because she fucked a 10, she thinks that she can date a 9. And so because of that, the confusion leads to the delusion. And that's where we get into the situation. Because my fantasy that I may look at as a man looking at adult content, I'm not going to live that fantasy out. I mean, unless you live here in Vegas, you're not going to live that fantasy out. As a woman, your fantasy with that man, he is going to have sex with you. That's the difference.
So
Yeah, I even think with outfits too, like they'll say a lot of stuff like, how can you have your cleavage showing? I get that all the time. And I'm like,
mhm,
but then I've been around women who completely dress like a burqa and they're they're like sleeping with every guy and doing all this
Yes.
crazy. I'm like, okay, like
It's
my
it's the
clothes are not
necessity.
as, yeah.
It's a necessity. But for guys who are out there wondering, you're never going to know a woman's body count. What you need to understand is the necessity for stimulus. What I need is for my girlfriend to the most stimulus that she wants, or meaning the most validation she gets is sitting on the couch watching the Diddy documentary with me with her leg wrapped over my leg while she's feeding me popcorn and my cat is sitting on her lap. If that is a 10 out of 10 what stimulus interaction for her, we're going to be just fine. If it's, hey, honey, let's go out to dinner tonight. And she's like, I can't. Tiesto's playing and I have to go on stage with my female friends. That is a terrible relationship. That's not going to work. It's like, hey, honey, what's going on? Oh, well, this guy invited me to go on stage with Marshmallow. I was like, okay, cool. I'll come with you. And she's like, no, you can't come. Done. Relationship
yeah.
over. And I know. You want to know why? Because I'm the dude on stage with Marshmallow bringing the girls up and watching them leave their boyfriends behind. I'm not telling you this because I got hurt. I'm telling you this because I'm the fucking problem. I'm explaining this to you. These girls want to come to my birthday party. I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't bring your boyfriend. And they're like, okay, well, fuck it. I'm gonna leave my boyfriend behind. I was like, wait a second.
Mhm.
Didn't you say you have a boyfriend? Why are you making out with my rich lawyer friend? I don't understand. Wait, huh? I don't understand what's going on. And so that's why I see that. And so what I need is a woman who requires low stimulus. I don't need you're never going to know their body count. I know some guys are like, sure, you could look at the way she dresses and tell her body count.
No, I tell guys it's
So
all
low
about
stimulus, you mean a woman that doesn't
Listen,
need to be like in the center of attention or like,
doesn't
what do
need
you mean
external
by that?
validation. Doesn't
yes.
Okay.
need external
It's all
validation.
internal. And this is what
Yeah.
I tell guys all the time. You need to stop worrying about a number that you can never prove and focus on how she treats you. How does she treat you? Does she
Yeah.
treat you like you matter, that she can't live without you, that the idea of her not being around you is a problem for her, or losing access to you is a problem? Or does she like, I could get another one. I could get one just like you. If that's the case, then that's what you really need to be focusing on, not so much on what's this number that you can never prove.
So I've said this before, and I'm one of there's a few guys that agree with me. Rolo's one of them. I do not have a problem with bikini fashion shows or fitness shows. And
Yep.
guys need to get over this thing. There's a massive difference between hardcore pornography and women doing a bikini or swim show. So here's the reason why. Bikini shows and fitness shows promote health and fertility. Let me say that again. Do you see these women who live up in these northern states? They put on big old fucking trench coats in the winter and they just keep getting fatter and pastier. Down in the South, these women have to wear less clothes because it's warmer. And so because of that, they feel more of more of a desire or more pressure to stay in shape. Being in shape
They're
makes you
more
more
incentivized.
yeah, being in shape. People don't, there's a misconception. Women who are morbidly overweight, it's actually harder for them to get pregnant. Being in shape promotes fertility. Let me say that one more time. Being in shape promotes good health, long life, and fertility. This is the reason why I have no problem with fitness shows or bikini or swimsuit competitions. I have no problem with that. I'm not promoting pornography, but women being in shape is something we should promote and reward. I know a lot of trad cons don't like this concept, but that's the reason why there's this massive divorce rate, because these guys don't want to fuck their wives because their wives are overweight. No,
I keep saying that, like we're condemning the very thing we're condoning. It's like
yes.
it's
We are
completely
setting them up
asinine.
for failure. We're setting them up for failure.
Again, if you're a woman and you go to the gym, you're married to your husband, you put on a little bit of weight, you had a couple of kids, and you go to any gym in Dallas, Texas, you're gonna see girls on a stair climber with fake boobs and a 22-inch waist out there, and your husband's gonna come out of the bathroom and you're gonna see your husband staring at that girl on the treadmill, and it's just gonna be like, oh shit, I gotta get in shape.
It creates that competition anxiety.
Yes,
exactly.
I know that comes off as super shallow. I understand that, but the reason
no, it doesn't. Not to me. I've always said that. I don't think
you're also in shape.
To me is like so far away from superficial. It's so much deeper, but people always want to see things superficial, you know.
This is where Andrew Wilson got it right. Andrew Wilson was like, oh, we're having this problem with this divorce epidemic. It's like, hey, ladies, why don't you fuck your husbands and then we won't have this problem anymore? Yeah. But why are they not doing so? The vast majority of the reason why women say they're not interested in most men, the vast majority of reason why people stop having sex in marriage is because of a hormonal problem, and because of a physical attractiveness problem. It happens because people get fat.
Okay, so what's one skill that you when you talk to these guys that are just starting out, what's one skill that they can develop in the next 30 days that's going to like give them an amazing outcome? What would you suggest?
Yeah, fixing your social media would be one. The second one is I recommend this. I really shouldn't be talking about this, but this is like kind of inside baseball. I require my clients to do 100 man on the street videos a month. Like literally go up to strangers and interview them. So one guy has a microphone, one guy has a camera, and he's doing the microphone, and the other guy has the camera, and you just go up to, and then I go and I watch the videos every week, and I tell them, hey man, your body language got a little homosexual there, your voice inflection went up, you started sweating, you're holding the wrong side of the microphone, you're holding the microphone like this because you're afraid of the girl, and I give them the feedback, and then after a while, the before and after is shocking how good the guys get at talking to women just from doing that.
Because women will automatically pick up on a man who doesn't have good social skills or doesn't know how to have conversation. Like if he doesn't have good eye contact, for instance, like I picked that up right away.
There's tons of data on this. Two things. Number one, female development in their brain is 1 year ahead, but 1 to 2 years ahead of men. This is one of the things. There was actually an idea proposed by Richard Reeves, which was to hold boys back 1 year, meaning boys graduate at 19, women graduate at 18 from high school. That was an idea. It's like some people have tried it, experimented with it, and it actually works extremely well. The other skill I would give him is like, can you make as many female friends as possible? Go out, be social, don't hit on any women. And I've told this several guys, the ones who don't listen to me, they're like, no, Michael, I want to close. I want to bang these chicks. The ones who listen to me, and I'm like, make 100 female friends. You guys know what happens. They can't make 20 before the women are trying to sleep with them. When you go out with 20 women, it is incredible what happens. It doesn't make any sense. And guys who are listening to me and they're sitting there not believing me, it's because you've never done this. I've done your pickup. I've done your dating apps. You've never done my social circle. That's why you don't know any better and you keep doubting me. And then you look at my thousands of testimonials and you have no rebuttal for it. What I do works better than anything else for getting average men to date incredibly beautiful women. There's no one else who even competes with us. And when I told you the stuff about female friends, no one is teaching this but me. No one. And so that's the reason why we went from, we get about 70 to 80 new clients per month. We've about 4,300 clients that we've got going through the program right now. This is the part no one's going to teach you. Guys, ready? I'm giving you free game here. The mechanisms to get 9 girls to chase you and the mechanisms to get a wife to have children with are the same. They are the same. You guys know several, and I'm sure you have a bunch of probably married friends, Gia, where the guy was a scoundrel before he met his wife. The dude had been with 500 women before he met his wife. The trick to getting your dream girl is not being a good guy. The trick to getting your dream girl is being attractive. Understanding mechanisms of attraction. That's why I have so many guy friends. These are like one of my female friends. She's like the good girl, master's degree, super sweet girl. And she took a job one summer as a bartender. And she was working with the guy who to this day is the biggest male slut I've ever met in my life. This guy had probably banged 1,000 women before 24. Like he was sitting there taking girl. He was working a bartender on 6th Street in Austin. If you don't believe me, those guys got around. Oh, yeah. And so she would watch him banging all these chicks in the bathroom after they closed up the bar. And she would come tell me the stories and she was laughing. It's like, oh my God, it's so funny. They were married 12 months later. It's always like that.
So this guy that says good women don't exist, right? I get this all the time. Good women don't exist are really just outing their lack of market value.
Yeah, I play a lot of Madden. Speed is king. In the dating marketplace for men, attractiveness is your prime directive. Nothing matters more than attractiveness.
We're gonna head out to Vegas probably in the new year, and let's get you in person so we can do something out in Vegas.
Okay. Yeah, check out Origin Podcast Studios. That's where me and Sean Michael Kelly and Roland we all do our videos there. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for coming on.
All right, guys. Hey, one last thing before we go, guys. If you want to go to moamentoring.com, we have all the stuff I just talked to you about, you can get it for $27. You can get it for $27. moamentoring.com.
I'm not sure if you still have it, but you had that like the course, the one on school. Was it the school app?
Yes, the school app. So we have a $27 course that we sell, and then you get one free call with me.
I'll link all your stuff down below before we post.
I appreciate it. Talk to you guys.
Glenn walks in with a dominant presence. Voice cuts deep like a sermon with essence. Gia steps up, pure, elegant grace. Beauty with brains puts the world in its place. They light the mic, that truth ignites, burning through the fake in the dead of night. No labels, no camps, no tribal cage. They're carving out truth on an empty page. They're relentless warriors, forged like Thor. Modern Viking knocking down every door. You can't pin them down, can't put them in a box. They'll stomp it flat and break your locks. Ceilings, please, they leap sky high, shattering limits you set with a lie. They'll lead in the way, believe that. No simps, no saints, no soft disguise. They see through the games and the alibis. They're not here to please, they're here to lead. Truth and balance, yeah, that's the creed. It was boom, energy of truth on fire. They're calling out the world's desire. From fake ideals to moral decay, they're lighting up the modern age. No one's safe, not the church, not fame. They're flipping the script, rewriting the game. Love and logic, heart and soul, saving the truth for this nation.